I had an accident, a neurosurgery back in when I was coaching in West Hempstead, Long Island, and it was a point of time where when you getting when they say they're getting the operating room ready, and they talk, and the pain is in your head, you start to go to that realization and stuff of what's things. This is real. This is close. And I, as I prayed and said, my work was done. I wasn't gonna make it out of there. And so my work wasn't done. God would send me in the right direction, and coaching was that passion. And so I've been able to give back and share, and I've been blessed. Blessed in years to have helped, and blessed in years to be blessed with kids and who have made a difference, to me, and I've luckily made a difference in their lives as well.
Hello, everyone. This is Coach Tim Brown, author of the book Uncommon Athletes, filled with passion, filled with purpose. I'm here today. I'm blessed to have with me Coach Jim Miranda. Coach Miranda has been coaching in Columbus City schools for 33 years, and he can truly is a man of passion. Obviously, he loves the game. He's coached football, boys basketball, and girls basketball. And I'm going to put on record that he's the only coach in the state of Ohio who's led a team to the Final Four in girls basketball, boys basketball, and the state championship game in football. I'm going to put that on record now. But I'm blessed to have him with me. He's just right off the football field, so we ain't going to be long, but I want to just jump right in. Coach, you want to just talk a little bit about yourself. How'd you end up in Columbus and start coaching?
Well, Columbus, I came out to Ohio, played ball initially in the University of Cincinnati. Met my wife while I was at the University of Cincinnati. I left, went back to transfer to Temple. When we got married, we went to we lived in New York. I'm a Brooklyn, Bedford-Stuyvesant born and raised kid, and we found our way back to Ohio, because they started recruiting her at Ohio State. So she's a professor, and at that time she was a professor. She's a chair there now. So I got back to I was added on. I came out to Ohio State as a grad assistant and for the assistant to the recruiting coordinator. And then got back into Northland High School, had to get back on the field and that kind of stuff. So it was a journey. It's a journey, never thought I'd end up back in Ohio.
Right.
But it's been a blessing.
Great. When did you find your passion for sports? Where did that come from? Growing up in Brooklyn, where's that passion from sports?
Well, we grew up like that, and we played everything. We played on the concrete. We played football on concrete,
Right.
And about a 10-foot on the sidewalks and stuff, and played basketball in the snow. So it was born and raised into us. Just being competitive athletes on the block, and then my way out of, to be honest, my way out of the hood, so to speak, in the neighborhood was I got an athletic scholarship to the University of Cincinnati, and so, but it was it's a born passion that me and my younger brother, we competed in everything, everywhere. We do all the sports, and it's been something that's been ingrained in me. And ever since I had an accident, a neurosurgery back in when I was coaching in West Hempstead, Long Island, and it was a point of time where when you getting when they say they're getting the operating room ready, and they talk, and the pain is in your head, you start to go to that realization and stuff of what's things. This is real. This is close. And I, as I prayed and said, my work was done. I wasn't gonna make it out of there. And so my work wasn't done. God would send me in the right direction, and coaching was that passion. And so I've been able to give back and share, and I've been blessed, blessed in years to have helped, and blessed in years to be blessed with kids and who have made a difference, to me, and I've luckily made a difference in their lives as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, you've been blessed to coach some top athletes throughout your coaching career. What is it that separates those uncommon athletes? Well, what's different about them?
I think it's the dedication and the commitment that's necessary and required to be different. There's a ton of kids that want to play, but if you want more, you have to be willing to give more. The more you give, the more you get. I often say that, there's a lot of potential out here with our kids and stuff. All they need is opportunity, and when that potential meets opportunity, then you have opportunity for success, and that's what makes the difference. Is those kids, and they're our guys, guys and girls. They've had challenges throughout, but when they can overcome some of those obstacles and make that commitment, that's what makes them, that uncommon athlete.
Well, it's powerful when that potential meets opportunity, and you have been one, and I've watched you through the years who have provided that opportunity. I know if a kid wants to be great, wants to get better, you're there waiting for them. You provide those out. You put them in situations, and I watch you coach how you push them to that level, to a level they don't even know they can get to. I've seen some of those teams. You just taken some teams. I'm looking at that bench. I'm like, man, I don't know if they're gonna win this one, And next thing they won the city, won the district, or whatnot, And I've seen that in action. And so as we try, a question for you is, how have you been able to maintain that through almost going to your fourth decade of coaching? I know you've seen different kids have been maybe a little different now, so to speak. How have you been able to maintain and still be able to relate to this generation?
Well, I think it's a part about, in listening, and hearing and under, trying to, put yourself in and knowing how, what shoes, every shoe is not the same. And, everyone wears different sneakers, and they might be the same name brand, but they're still different sneakers. And you got to understand what, walking in someone's shoes and what it takes. You also got to surround yourself with people who are supportive of what you're doing and what I'm doing and stuff. It takes a lot of sacrifice to coach for this long, and I sacrificed my family. My family has been very supportive, and they're committed, and they understand what I go through. So they can know that I've been away from my family for years, and doing things, and so there's a sacrifice involved. So you have to surround having a good support network in terms of family, and then also surrounding yourself with other good, people that are going to help you to help those other people. Great coach. I've had over the years some, great assistant coaches and stuff. And when I say assistant coach, I'm not even talking about X's and O's. I'm talking about caring. Willing to sacrifice and be there. Big brothers, big sisters, and being there for them, and when they have those, like you said, they have uncommon needs, and and you had to go the route, and so I try to surmount, I don't do Friday night coaches. I do coaches who are going to be there for those kids whenever they need those kids, and so you surround yourself, and you get you get a good assistance, and you get guys that are going to help you to be successful by being there and help them share that load and making sure of all my guys, and over the years, my girls are going to be successful.
Yeah. I know family is very important to you. And I know you had the opportunity to coach your daughter. How was that experience?
Oh, that was special.
Yeah.
She might tell you that it was hard. She might tell you it was hard. But but when I say even her growing up, and you spend all those years with someone else's kids, and you spending a lot of time away from your own kids, and so when I had the opportunity to coach her, and so that's how I got into girls basketball, because when I was talking to her, she was in middle school,
Yeah.
And she said she wanted to play basketball. I was like, are you really sure? 100% sure, and so that's when I switched over from, because I was an assistant boys coach at Northland for years and stuff. And I switched over to girls coaching, and we took a job at Eastmoor, and just in the hopes that I could be able to coach her. What is that? 3 years down the road, and I put in that time. You put in that time, and so that was blessing, because I got to coach her I got to see her and watch her grow. And I pushed her hard, people who were around us know, and it was no gimmies,
right.
But it was still a pleasure watching her grow into the young lady that she turned out to be. And so that was a blessing, like I said, she'll have some different stories, some different takes and stuff, but she'll still tell you that it was great just to being around us, to being together for those 4 years. Cause I did 3 years before and then 2 years afterwards. So, but it was a good time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I know that from experience. I was my son's fifth grade teacher. And I loved it. And then I was my daughter's, I coached my daughter in high school for 2 years. I was over there with her. And so there's no better feeling than dad, that where your kids are and you're getting to watch them grow, like you said, and develop into, and you're able to make sure they get those character traits that you're supposed to get out of sports.
Right.
Sometimes kids miss those parts that you're talking about, not just being successful on the field, but learning those things that help you in life. And the direction I want to go in now is I watch you have a lot of young men who played for you, who come back and coach with you.
Yes.
What does that draw? Because you're a hard coach now, coach. I've seen you in action now. I know them guys, they were players, but now they come back and what does that draw? How special is that?
I think it's great. It's special for me. They say I'm a lot easier. I'm a lot softer than I was with them. But then again, that our kids have changed. So have our parents and their expectations. Right. So we have to adjust and modify as well. But it's great, and I could always have, they can share with our own kids, like, hold on, I've been where you are. I've done what you're doing. So there's nothing that you can possibly tell me that this is too difficult or the challenges are too high, because I've done it and I succeeded. And so having positive role models is great, but having role models that did exactly and where wore those shoes and they were exactly where you are in that same locker room, and so there's you can't tell, it's a way of saying things that they can truly relate to, and takes away all kind of excuses, right. And also gives them hope, because they can actually know it's not just like holistic and saying it's whatever and aloof. You're actually seeing that I can be, and all the role models that we have are great. They're positive men that are doing positive things in the community, and they actually care about our kids, and that's what makes it for me special, that knowing that because I even, some of my coaches, they say, you made me, you are, I'm you, and that means a lot.
Yeah, you talk. You keep talking about that caring word, not that coaching word, but that caring word, really caring about young people. So if you could describe the culture at Eastmoor Academy, well, what's the culture? What kind of culture have you created or creating there? Have created?
I think I try to create a culture where our kids can feel good about themselves. I make it a point to make them, they look good. They're sharp. We're distinct. We do some things that are unique, that to a city league program. We believe in discipline and hard work, but we also like to have fun, and we take pride in what we're doing. So, that those sound like words that every program will have, but I don't know if we've been blessed, or we're fortunate that we've had success, and I think success just comes from putting in that extra work. We could take weekends off. we don't have to come in Saturdays. We put in that extra work, and that extra work traditionally amounts to success, because the more effort that you put into something, the better results you're going to get out of it. We require commitment. Like I said, from athletes to coaches, we don't have no days off as a staff. We have every day, throughout the week. We come in Saturday mornings with our kids, and then we meet for 4 hours on Sundays as a staff, and then Sunday afternoon. So, it involves a commitment, and and it's like I said, this is not like just coach Friday night. And so from staff to athlete, we believe in that hard work, and we believe that hard work will pay off. And so that's kind of like what our culture is about.
Yeah, sounds like you. If a guy spend that much time together as players and as staff, you really creating a family.
Yes.
They really become part of the family.
And we talk family all the time.
Yeah.
We talk family all the time, and brother, guys believe that these are our brothers and stuff. The players, and if the players feel like that, they're there for each other. And Eastmoor is a difficult school in terms of not many kids are actually from the neighborhood. Since being a charter school, we come from a whole bunch of different all over the city, and so bringing them together and doing some different things, and that makes us. You have to, like I said, we don't have that neighborhood tie, because there's a lot of neighborhoods, so it has to be a city tie. But if you do different things, and you get a more positive thing, like going out on like the walk and doing the African American wellness walk and doing different things like that. We took kids out to these different things around the community, and that helps create a bond, and that's what makes, I think, helps us make us unique and special.
Yeah, and I love the way you get them out the neighborhood, the exposure. I know you would go to New York, you went home and played against some teams, and then that bus ride over there, and then some of the New York teams came to Eastmoor, and you do a team camp every year off site or whatever, just creating those opportunities.
How often our kids don't even get out of the state, get out of the city, and so I'm glad other schools are trying to do those kind of things too, and that's great. And but those doing those different things makes a big difference, and hopefully it pays off. And if it pays off in W's, that's great. But more important, we want to make sure that it pays off in the development of our young people.
Yeah, because I think what you're creating is those moments, not just memories, but moments. They can remember that moment in time, and look back on it and think well about themselves, and their culture and whatnot. What advice would you give to these young? Because you can kind of see the change of the guard in the city. I think this year is like 3 or 4 new coaches. There's a lot of second-year coaches. What advice would you give to a young coach who's just starting out?
Well, a couple of things. It has to be about commitment. You have to put in that work. There's no substitute for time. And when you spend time with kids, they value you more, and they value their time more, because you've taken a personal interest in them. You got to put forth that time. You got to make sure that everybody on your staff is committed to the same goals that you're trying to achieve. They have to be. You look for people, and again, surround yourself with people who are going to be great for kids, and when you put forth that time, you become more. You have to be organized, and you got to be willing to, like I said, you got to be willing to sacrifice. And everybody's not going to be as fortunate as I was to have a wife she's a sports person too, so that helped. And but family takes a burden, but you have to be willing to put forth that time and energy in order to make sure that your program, you got to be there for the kids. I get parents that call me to discipline their kids sometimes over the phone and stuff. I'm doing things from sometimes long distance, and sometimes it's just, what are you doing? Come on now, can you do this, say this, please, just say this and stuff. Right. And and just making solving problems. You got to be a problem solver, and problem solving, not just in terms of bad, some of a kid that's not acting right, but finding the necessary resources for that kid and putting them together, them and their parents, to with some other, the resources that they need to help them become successful. It's important, making sure that a kid has shoes and stuff. Sometimes when a kid doesn't have, you can't exclude anybody. So you have to, sometimes it comes out of pocket, but or finding the necessary resources from wherever. So you got to go through whatever's necessary to make sure that that kid is going to be successful in life. And I'm, like I said, that's some of the things that some of our new coaches and stuff. It's not just about W's, it's about Johnny's and Joe's and stuff, and and the kids and if you're coaching girls, Maria's and Saniquas and stuff, whatever it is, to make sure that they are going to be successful and they're having a great experience.
That's good stuff. This has been great. Lastly, I want to take you back.
Okay.
You've been at this thing for over 30 years. If you went back, what would you tell your young coaching self?
What would I tell?
Yeah, what would you tell your young, when you first got started? Looking back at it now, what would you tell your young coaching self?
Get ready. Get ready, because you're gonna need it and stuff. Yeah. I don't know. I said I can't. I'm not exactly unhappy with anything that I went through, and just in terms of, because I enjoyed all my stops. As I'm thinking back, I enjoyed all my stops. I learned a lot along the way. I thought I was a great assistant coach when I was an assistant coach. I thought I was a great assistant coach because I made sure that my head coach was successful. And I thought I was a great assistant coach because I always wanted to be a head coach. So I made sure for all those years I was an assistant coach, if there were any problems, anything, I was a problem solver. I was, I made my head coach look good and stuff. And you can ask some of those head coaches that I coached with, they all thought that I busted my behind and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I understand that just be ready for the hard work. It's going to be a challenge, but it's going to be worthwhile when you see the kids that later on in life, and seeing how successful they have, and knowing that you played a part in their individual success. It's going to be as gratifying and fulfilling as any W or any championship that you'll ever win.
That's well said. Well, Coach, I want to thank you for your time, but most importantly, thank you for your commitment. And you can use that word, your commitment, because it takes some staying power, to keep doing what we're doing, or what you've been doing. And so I want to thank you for that. And I just want to encourage you to finish strong, finish this thing strong. And then thank you for your sacrifice and all those things you've done for young people. So, Coach, it's been a pleasure, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the field and looking for that great run that you got. I know you got a good run in you this year.
Yeah, I think we're going to do well. So we'll see. So we're excited, and we're just excited to have everybody together again and stuff, right. And this is still going to be a challenge as we go forward, but we're looking forward to it, and I'm going to try to finish out my 4 or 5 years before retirement and stuff, and see how how the future brings.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time. Be blessed now.
No problem.